welcome to Basic Public Speaking, and I am your Professor, Christy Thomas. This video goes over the informative speaking genre. So I will be going into a little bit more detail, and as always with this video, there is documentation and PowerPoint presentation that goes along with it, and you will find it under the header of Chapter 14, Informative Speaking. Informative speaking. I'm going to give you the book's definition. So, informative speaking attempts to introduce or impart new knowledge and information to audiences. Sorry guys, I'm outside, so it's a little windy because I wanted to enjoy this weather, so my notes are probably flying all over the place, and so is my hair. Anyway, so informative speaking is that we're giving information. That's what informative it is. You're telling us something new, you're telling us a process, you're giving us examples, you're telling a story. That's all under informative. And there's, I think, 5 styles of informative speeches, and I'll get to those here in a hot second. The book also talks to us about the differences between informative and persuasive speeches. Because a lot of people think, well, you kind of give information on both, and that's true, you do. But some of the big differences is that informative speaking, you're imparting new information. You're giving us information. You're telling us how to do something, where to find something, what happened at a time or place. You're giving examples. You're telling like personal narratives. Whereas persuasive speaking, you are giving us information, but the information you're giving us is to persuade us to take a side, to make a decision based off the information you get us. And generally the speaker wants the audience to be aligned with what they believe, what they think, and what agenda or, yeah, I guess agenda would be their best word, what agenda they're after. If they want you to go yay or nay or vote this or vote that or choose this or choose that. There's the big differences with informative and persuasive. Informative is giving us, imparting new information. Sorry guys if my hair is distracting. Whereas persuasive is giving us information, but you really are trying to sway the audience. And then another thing that the book discuss is that informative is considered easier because it's easier to just impart information, whereas persuasive is that you're imparting information, but you're really trying to sway your audience to what you want them to do, what action you want them to perform, whether it's choosing a side or, doing a vote. And generally, like I said before, the speaker wants the audience, wants to sway them in their direction, to vote yay, to vote nay, to vote for this person or that person. We are in the midst of a political season, so you see commercials and announcements and ads just bombarding us with information, and it's cited. And when I say it's cited, you have, each candidate is pro them and not so pro the other candidate. So that's what I'm talking about when we talk about persuasive, is that they want you to go with what they're giving you information to help you side with what they want you to do. That's the biggest differences between informative and persuasive. Now, informative speaking, if you really want to break that down in the easiest, simplest terms, folks, think of it as being in the role of a teacher. Teachers give us information every day. Your teachers at school, you are learning information, well, right now, virtually, but you are receiving information every day, something new in a topic, something new in a subject, or more in-depth study in a subject. The same goes for if you're in extracurricular activities. These coaches are helping you explore new ways or more in-depth ways for your craft, for the subject, for the sport. And in work, your bosses, crew leaders, team leaders, they are giving you ways, they are teaching you ways to help to better your performance. All those are roles as teachers. If you watch YouTube videos, like how-to videos, or there's a lot of YouTube videos on makeup artists or murder mysteries or storytelling or comedians. All of these are informative in the sense that they are teaching us information. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is informative speaking in a nutshell. Think of it as a role as a teacher, because you're teaching us stuff. Your first main speech was an informative speech about yourself, so you became the teacher and you were teaching me about you, what you prefer, what you like, what brings you happiness, what, just little snippets so I can get to know you better. All your mini storytelling speeches, you're becoming a teacher and you're telling me. This first one that was, this one that was just recently due was about a song. You were teaching me why that song held importance to you. So, it's really cool. And then your second main speech is a how-to process. So you're really becoming the teacher. You're enlightening us with the process on how to do something. Your choice, of course. Again, guys, if you see me kind of look off to the side, it's because I am looking at my notes. So there are different types of informative speeches, and let's see, 6, I think. So I'm just going to talk about those, chat about those, and then, yeah, like I said, all this information is already posted in a document and PowerPoint presentation. This is just a little extra help, a little extra aid, if you would, because I love fall. I hope you've been enjoying this fall weather. It's beautiful. A little side note snippet. So let's talk about just the different types of informative speeches. There's about objects. So this type of informative speech is about a specific thing, either abstract or concept. So about objects. Perhaps you're talking about a phone, a specific brand. Maybe it's an Apple, maybe it's a Samsung. Whatever the case may be here, you're talking about a specific object. Maybe you're talking about a specific shoe. Maybe you're talking about a specific makeup brand. Maybe you're talking about a specific make of a car. Or I'm just trying to give different ideas here. Maybe it's about a specific tree as I look out at the trees here. So that's one form of informative speeches. Whew, that was almost a tongue twister. The second kind is about people. This is just a speech informing us. So think of this as a biography. And this kind of also runs into, and it also can be about a group of people, not just one specific person. And this is where this kind of doubles over into the commemorative speech, if you're doing like an in tribute speech about someone. But if you're kind of just giving us like a biography of someone or a group, now when I mean a person, you could maybe giving us a biography about a specific actor or a director or a musician. Or if you do group, it could be a band. Or maybe you're telling us about, you have a fascination with cults. Perhaps you're telling us about a specific cult. So that falls under people or person. Maybe you're talking to us about a makeup artist, or maybe you're talking to us about a race car driver, their biography. But that's where that falls under. So we have objects and we have people. The next one is events. And this speech is about an important event from the past or possibly something in the future. So maybe you're talking about a specific point in time. Perhaps you're giving a speech on 9/11. We just had that anniversary. Or the Vietnam War. Or Woodstock. Or the Civil War. Or the Boston Tea Party. I'm just thinking in front of historical events. Perhaps you're talking about in here, I'm trying to just think of different random events. Kate Middleton and Is it Prince William's wedding or Prince Harry's wedding? You know, those are events that people talked about. So that all falls under events. Or could we talk about something that's going to happen, the upcoming election? That's a future event. Or you know, depending on, you could be on a committee, so you could be talking about future dances, homecoming or prom or athletic events. So all that falls under events. The next one is a process. Now, process is kind of what we're going to go under in the next main speech, which happens in week 8. We're entering week 6. This is week 6 this video falls under. So a process is a speech, how things are done or how to do something. It's a how-to bake a cake, how to change a tire, how to apply a winged eyeliner, how to make the perfect ice cream sundae, how to make the best burger, how to tie your shoe. And I don't mean it figuratively, like how to tie your shoe, but you know, runners and athletes or people who really love shoes, there's so many different ways that you can tie shoes. So, you know, it's got that creative flair to it. How to do a cartwheel, how to do a handstand. I can just keep on going on how to's, but you know, it's telling us a process. How to create a volcano using this and this, or how to make a face mask, or how to braid hair. You know, the process is there. How to detail a car. So that's telling us there. So far we've covered objects, people, events, and processes. That's 4. The 5th one is concepts. This is a speech about a philosophical or intellectual idea, typically abstract. Concepts. So you could talk about the concept of beauty, how it's changed throughout the centuries. What was the ideal beauty and what's compared to what maybe the ideal of beauty is today. I'm trying to think of other concepts that you can use, but they're not necessarily they can be concrete, but they're also very philosophical. Concepts of time travel, trying to think of other like philosophical ones. So there's like time travel, there's many different concepts in there. So but you're kind of get the idea. Obviously I don't have as many as I did on the other ones, but concepts. So this is abstract, philosophical, intellectual. You know, they can be concrete, but they're also very much abstract. Ancient alien theorists would fall under concepts. Giants, was it necrophilium? Nephiliums? I didn't say that right at all, so don't judge me. Ancient aliens, the different concepts there. Time travelers, I said that. All that kind of abstract philosophical world. So that's 5. The 6th one that go real quick is issues. And this is a speech about current situations or problems, kind of a briefing. So this is just a speech where you give us information about what's going on. So again, we're in a political season. So a lot of issues that are being voted on or should be voted on, or what's going on, you know, there's been a lot of issues that's been addressed in the last few months because of COVID. So unemployment and healthcare, and there's just so much more that falls under the issues. But issues is bringing a briefing, and the briefing is giving us the information about a specific situation, a current situation or problem that will be maybe needs to be discussed or thought about later, maybe in a persuasive type situation. But the informative meat of this is a briefing where the issues are brought forward. You know, hey folks, this is what's going on. Our governor has a briefing almost every day to discuss numbers and what's going on in our state. So that kind of gives you a better understanding of what falls under. So those are the 6 different types underneath informative speeches, objects, people, events, processes, concepts, and issues. So 6, I have my thumb up, so I went that way. 6, folks. All right. Sorry, trying to keep my notes from flying away, so I'm using my phone. There are informative strategies that can go about in speeches. Real quick with those, like I said, all this is also in the documents in the PowerPoint presentation, is there's description. Description gives an audience the mental sense of an event, process, or an object. So this can evoke sights and sounds and even smells. You're just physically describing something. And by these descriptions, you evoke all this. You get this most familiar from newscasts or YouTubers who describe events for a living. There's several YouTubers out there that describe their like murder mysteries. So they describe a specific case of it, and they give a really detailed description. So it's invoking sights and sounds on what's going on. But think of newscasters. They're giving us information so we can mentally visualize it. So that's a description. That's pretty straightforward. Definition. This is just to explain the meaning of a term or concept. Definitions can be straight from a book, like Webster's Dictionary tells us, or the Oxford English Dictionary tells us, and then you go into your definition. Definitions can be used for a variety of reasons, but it could be adding precision to terminology in your speech, or for clarification, because some people may be using a term and they're not using it correctly. So you use it and you give the correct definition to clarify what you are discussing within your speech. So, like I said, definitions can be included dictionary and etymological. Sorry if I butchered that word, but this talks about the functional, operational usage of the word, of the definition, of the turn of the phrase. So, think of the word courage. There's a textbook definition of courage, but then there's also the functionality, operational of courage as well. Excuse me. Then there's also explanation. When you're using explanation, and this comes into play really for your next speech that's going to happen in week 8, right prior to ACCC's fall break, you're positioning yourself as an educator. Along with the demonstration, you're explaining the process. So again, how to change a tire, how to change oil, how to braid hair, how to bake a cake, how to bake some brownies, how to, make a mask, whatever the case may be here. And underneath that, that's the demonstration. The demonstration is the how-to part. So explanation, you're telling us, the demonstration is the how-to portion. So think of it, you're explaining it, and then demonstration is the physical showing us how to, or you're giving us a step-by-step process. Again, this comes into play because we are doing a demonstration process speech for our second speech. Then there's narration. Narration's a story. That's just a straightforward story, a narrative you're giving within a speech. Kind of last thing I want to hit on this video is tips for informing. Keep it simple, students. Otherwise broke down as KISS. Keep it simple, students. You don't want to go crazy detailed or above and beyond, because remember we talked in one of the other videos, 3 is the magic number. You go way more and you lose the audience. But you need at least 3 because we crave that information. We want to hear it. So keep it simple, though. It keeps your message clear if you keep it simple. And that's what you want to do. Make it unique. We're all going to do a how-to speech. Well, excuse me, you all are going to do a how-to speech. So it's keeping it unique. What can you do to give it a bit of a flair? Could it be your intro? Could it be the actual process? Do you have something like a little trick hidden up your sleeve? Like, just, it's keeping it unique. We're not going too crazy. Again, keep it simple, make it unique, and make your speech personally relevant. What do I mean? You don't want to give a speech on a topic you have absolutely no cares about. Why? You're going to be disinterested and your audience will be disinterested. So by choosing a topic that means something to you or something that you enjoy, you're going to be able to convey happiness and joyfulness, and that's going to read. It's going to read in your face. It's going to read in your body. If you're new in the speech or something, you can, it's just, we'll see the disdain. So by choosing a topic that you enjoy, now I know sometimes this is not always the case. You can't always choose something that you absolutely love or have a 100% interest in, but for this purpose of this class, I let you choose your topic. I give you the genre, you pick the topic. So pick something that means something to you. That it also gives us a comfort. When we have to speak about something that we enjoy in front of people, we're much more at ease and have much more of a comfort to us. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is informative speaking. Already to Blackboard, I have uploaded different examples. It's informative speech outlines, which we already talked about outlining and organizing. But I just wanted to talk about this because our first speech was informative. All of our mini speeches are informative, and our second main speech will also be an informative how-to process speech. That's coming up in 2 weeks. We're in week 6, week 8. This will be due. So not next week, but week after next. Let me pull up my calendar here. September, October. The October 9th through the 11th is when that speech will be due to me. So, just a few short weeks. So, just kind of start thinking about that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this an interesting video as always, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Till the next video, bye.